Jai Hind everyone, welcome again to the Patriotic IAS. Let's start our IAS PCSwala daily current affairs. Under that we have near about 7-8 topics that we will do one by one. We will start with the report. Under that, ADB, Asian Development Bank, have projected India's growth rate at the 7%. We will see that other projection under that. So it will be for the GS paper 3 and under the economy prelims as well as for the mains. So it will be for the prelims as well as for the means. Then we will study that the most Indian belief into the country's plurality. This is the very surprising thing. Here the CSDS is getting some of the response that was not same at the previous Lok Sabha election into the 2019. So here, even the most of the Hindus believe that this country is for not only for the Hindus, but the all the religious community. Again, this will be for the GS paper 2, where we talk about the plurality or the secularism. Okay, so diversity, unity in diversity, all this will come under the mains perspective. Then we will study the basics about the Jama Masjid because we have the a picture of Jama Masjid on the front page. So it will be for the art and culture GS paper 1. GS paper 1. Okay. Then we will study that Apple changed the hacking alert wording. The wording from the state, it has changed something else, and this has been seen under the Indian pressure. So it will be under GS paper 3, cyber security, mainly mains perspective. We will see this under the recently the malware spyware, that was the Pegasus. So we will see that. Then we will see that again sound and stable Sino-India relations serve the interest of the both India and China. So it is from the Chinese side. The comment is coming into the context of the comment from the Indian Prime Minister recently. Indian Prime Minister was not speaking anything about the China into the last 4 years. Recently he speak on this. So there is the response from the China as well. Again, it will be for the mains India and China relations. Then we will see that in poll season, the perils of scorching bilateral ties. It is into the context of the comment on the Kacha Thiu island, that is India has recognized the sovereign right of the Sri Lanka in the 1974. So here the blame game is going on that Congress carelessly gave it to the Sri Lanka, and Congress is telling that this was an agreement for the national interest and the interest of the everyone. We have already taken the waste bank that is the mineral resource rich. Further, we will study the finality of the justice on this DMRC Supreme Court judgment under the curative petition. So we will try to know that what is the curative petition and what is the review petition, and we will try to know the difference and the article under the Indian Constitution that's defined and the court judgment that's defined this curative petition. Then we will see that a battle for the safe Ladakh. Here there is the detailed analysis of the environmental impact, the resource capacity of environmental footprint or the landscape. All this will be discussed, and we will do a mains answer writing practice on this topic, and it is from the UPSC previous year question paper. There has been the 2 questions on the issue. One was asked into the 2017 and one was 2019. So we will do practice of that question as well. In the last, we will see that the ISRO zero orbital debris. So we will try to know that what is the space debris and how the India's experiment of the PSLV C-58 going to help this reduction in the space debris. So let's start with the front page. The front page that starts with this projection from the Asian Development Bank, and the main projection is that India's growth rate will be continuously high, and why it is expected that due to the monsoon that will have the positive impact on the consumption, and this will increase the demand from the rural side, from the farming agriculture of those farmers and the rural household. Besides that, we have also seen that there is the chances that there will be the increase into the demand of the Manrega, and also that will boost the economy. We also see that there could be the sum of the unpredictable event. In that case, we cannot reach that level. Only the cases such as the increase into the crude oil at the international market. Okay, such things, the shocks could be possible, and yes, there could be the shock from the climate and weather as well. So here we will see that even this outlook has outlook report from the Asian Development. Please remember this outlook report that is from the Asian Development Bank, and that has projected the inflation between the 4.6. Okay, so this is the here the even the inflation is not that much high. This is the moderate, and food inflation also it is the 5.7. So consistently this has been higher. So these are all things that we have seen into this report. Next important news, we will see that the most of the Indian believe into the country plurality, where we have found, it is found into the CSDS report and the survey that the most of the people, even the most of the Hindus, they believe that this country is not for the Hindus only, this is for the Muslim, Christian, Jain, everyone. There is no differences that should be the basis on the segregation or the claim of on the basis of the religion. So we have seen that the mostly this is from the towns and the cities who have believed. It is lesser into the village area. So we will see that how the people have responded into the case of the when they have been asked that whether this country belong to the Hindus only or the both Hindus and Muslim and other religion. Here there has been also change into the response that the 58% of the respondent expressed some of the great distrust into the election commission. So there has been the increased distrust into the election commission. The people are not believing into the election commission due to the recent decision of the appointment and other decision. Besides that, we have also seen that the 45% of those people who surveyed believe that the government can manipulate the EVM for to favor its own party. So here it is given the what has been the result from this survey. Next important news that we will see that this picture, this is on the front page and this is of the Jama Masjid. So you should know basics about the Jama Masjid. Who constructed it? It was constructed by the Shah Jahan into the 1650. So please remember what is the architectural style. It is the Indo-Islamic style, and it is mainly made up of the what? It is made up of the red sandstone and the white marble. So please remember there is also the calligraphy of the Quranic verses is there. So these are the basic things you should know about the Jama Masjid. Next important news that we are going to take again from the front page, it is the Apple changes the hacking alert wording after the Indian pressure. So whenever there is any of the chances of the hacking, any of the attempt of the hacking of the Apple phones, so there is always a alert that comes from the Apple, and in that alert there was the use of the word that was the state-backed attacker. So now the government said that you are talking about the state-backed attacker, means you are accusing the state itself. Now they pressurized to change is the mercenary. So mercenary do not include the state, and that's why government is comfortable here. It is accused that the government pressurized under the recently we have seen that the Pegasus case. Pegasus was a spyware. Under that there was the surveillance, there was the snooping of your data, and there has been the accusation of the major of the opposition leaders like the Rahul Gandhi and other such leaders. Their Apple phones was hacked and misused. Okay, and it was done by the government because the government agency Indian Intelligence Bureau, it acquired this into the 2017, and that's why there was the accusation. This is all about from this news. Next important news is coming from the Chinese-India relation. Here it is given that the sound and the stable Sino-Indian relations serve the interest of the both sides, say the Beijing. Here it is into the context of the recently Prime Minister of the India, Prime Minister Modi has made the reference of the status of situation on the border from the 2020. We have seen that for last near about 4 years he was silent on this issue. But the first time he had made this statement in his interview. So after that there has been so many commentary. Already we have seen that the commentary was there. The statement was there from the External Affairs Ministry, and it was very harsh comment. But from the Prime Minister it was not. Even the comment was coming from the Rajnath Singh, and it was also the harsh. But now we have seen that yes, There has been the counter claim from the China as well, and we have seen that the renaming of the different places into the Arunachal Pradesh, and the same was being done by the India as well. Here accusing China of the violating the agreement with the India, deploying troops at the line of actual control. It has been done many a times by our external affairs minister. There has been the criticism from the defense minister Rajnath Singh as well. He criticized China for the renaming the place into the Arunachal Pradesh. Here we have seen that such claim, such criticism, such statement has been from the Chinese side as well. So ultimately, it is considered that if this region want stability, the relation between the India and China need to be stable. This is all about from this news article. Next important news that we are going to take is from the editorial, and it is talking about in the pole season, the perils of scorching bilateral ties. So here it is talking that during the election, how the bilateral ties is being impacted and how it is being referred during the election. So this has been the first time that the government of India or the Prime Minister of India directly referring different agreements and criticizing. Until and unless now, it was the opposition who were accusing. But first time, it is the Prime Minister and the External Affairs Minister. They are criticizing the national agreement that has been done previously. For example, recently we saw that there has been the criticism for the Kachatiu agreement, Kachatiu island that is now part of the Sri Lanka, and it was agreed by the Indian government in 1974, and now the government of this time, Prime Minister himself is accusing that this was the carelessness of that government that they give it away to the Sri Lanka. So this is the main issue. Under that we have seen that the impact on the bilateral ties. Okay, so here the thing is that the loss of Kachatiu that has been criticized by the government, but at the same time the opposition is talking about the gain of the oil rich West Bank. Means we gave this Kachatiu, we agreed, even we didn't give that. We just agreed because there was no clear-cut sovereign right on this Kachatiu island. It was the disputed from the 1921 itself. From the 1921, there was the dispute on this. So please remember that the history of this Kachatiu, it goes back to the 1921. And at that time, government of India and it was government of Madras and versus it was the Ceylon. Now the Sri Lanka at that particular time it was the Ceylon and when it was started. So the opposition is talking that we agreed on this area because already it's come under the maritime boundary of the Sri Lanka. So, but we got our right, India's right on this West Bank, and this West Bank is oil and the mineral resource rich. So we are into the benefit, but why anyway? If you are referring that yes, you are in benefit or you are in the loss, but you are impacting the bilateral relation because the other side, the other government that is into the debate, they will think that why this is being taken. Even if you claim that we were in the loss or we were into the benefit by this, by that you are showing that the Sri Lankan government is in the loss, you are giving point for the opposition into the Sri Lanka to raise the issue. So you should know that where is the Kachatiu that is here located, it is just between India and Sri Lanka, and this is known as the Pak state, and this is the Gulf of Mannar. Okay, here it is the northern part of the Sri Lanka. This is the northern part of the Sri Lanka, and this is mainly dominated by the Tamil Sri Lankan. Okay. The main issue again is here already we have discussed is the livelihood issue and the arrest by the security guard. So this is the main issue that has been there. Okay. The writer is talking about that whenever we are going to get the benefit into this by mentioning that? Maybe there could be the benefit of the BJP government, BJP party into the Sri Lanka, Tamil Nadu, that is particularly into the Tamil Nadu by the mentioning the issue with the Sri Lanka, but for the long term, it is impacting the bilateral issue. You can be, yes, there could be the seat and some of the benefit of the BJP into the Tamil Nadu by referring all this thing, because the fishermen of the Tamil Nadu, they are very angry with this, because there is a lot of arrest and this issue is persisting for the decade. Even though now NDA first and NDA second under the Narendra Modi, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, they are not able to resolve that, and 10 years that has been passed, but there has been no resolution. But the thing is that you are just mentioning this issue, that doesn't mean that you are going to resolve the issue. Okay. Recently, we saw that we supported Sri Lanka when there was the economic crisis. There was the financial crisis. There was the high inflation into the Sri Lanka. And we supported financially Sri Lanka. That's why it improved our relation with the Sri Lanka. Because previously we saw that there was the inclination of Sri Lanka towards the China. There was the Hambantota port that was given by the Sri Lanka to the China for the development. And there was a military base that was the cause of concern for the India. So you should remember Hambantota, and it was the cause of concern because the Chinese presence was there. Now, due to our support into the economic crisis of the Sri Lanka, we have made Sri Lanka more closest to us. And if you bring such type of the issue again, there could be that could hit our relation with the Sri Lanka again. It will push back the Sri Lanka towards the China. This is the one negative point when there is you try to gain the benefit of electoral position, electoral campaign, and you start issuing and raising the issue of the bilateral relation. Okay. Besides that, there could be the credibility hit. It will hit our credibility as well. We have seen that already agreement was 1974, and recently we saw that there was the UN clause, UN tribunal that gave the verdict into the favor of the Bangladesh. We agreed on that. We agreed that yes, there was the loss to the India in the some point, but we agreed because we want to eliminate this headache. Whenever there is the dispute between the two countries, this is always headache for the government of the time. If the third party, like the UN, is resolving the issue, there is no point that the government of any of the countries will be impacted in the electoral campaign or the electoral contest. That's why we accepted. But the thing is that if you will start revising the thing again and again, and you will not recognize the international bodies like the UN clause, so we cannot resolve the issue in a peaceful manner. That will be the perpetual headache for the countries who are into the dispute, and in that case, if you will ask to revise these agreements, this could be challenging. Okay. And because that UN clause will have some other stand and you will have some other stand, and in that case it will become very complicated to resolve any such issue. Again, here you will see that our Indus Water Treaty, we never brought this into our electoral dispute. 1960 from the today, just it was under this government, this agreement, this treaty was brought for the discussion, and the government itself criticized this agreement. It was not previous, no government into the past has brought any of the international agreement. This is the reason that this agreement survived for the 60 years despite we faced the 2-3 wars. We've continuously faced 1965 wars, 1971 war, 2 major war, a minor war into the Kargil. Still, this Indus Water Treaty was continued and it was into the application, it was applied, it was continually was into the effect. Why? Because India didn't brought this agreement, they agreed. And this is a success story. This is given as an example at the international stage that despite two rival countries, there is a successful agreement. Okay. This time again it was brought for the into the discussion and for the revision. So despite that, it was later it was agreed that yes, we will continue this agreement. But yes, India never brought. You know why? Into the 1999, when there was the Kargil war, most of the countries, even the China supported India, US supported India. You know why? What is the reason? What was the reason? Because the credibility of India. In the past, India never brought its nuclear power as creating the threat to the any other countries. It never brought this nuclear capability as the boasting point. Despite Pakistan again and again during the Kargil war, before the Kargil war, they showed that they have nuclear power. They can use the nuclear power. In even that situation, India kept patience. It never brought its nuclear power as the negotiation table or the at the threatening to the other countries. We kept patience, we show our humbleness, and we showed that yes, India is a responsible nuclear power, and after that, US started recognizing India as the nuclear power. This is the first time after 2001 US started believing in India's credibility. If you will start such type of the agreement, bringing into the again and again into the dispute, what will happen? At the international level, whenever there will be the agreement, country will say that India is the country that in the future that will go and they will deny this agreement. We are not going to make any agreement with the India. This will be the situation. Our credibility will be impacted as per this writer that is explaining in all this here. Okay. A writer has brought the CAA issue here again. There was a dispute with our neighborhood countries. Neighborhood countries, Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh, they criticized the exclusion of the Muslim and they criticized it as the discriminatory. The other point, they were not agreed that the accusation that the minority are being persecuted as per this law, this act, Citizenship Amendment Act, that persecuted community will be only given. So the word persecution itself was opposed by these countries because you are telling that there is the execution in our countries against the minorities and not against the majority. Okay, means here, and even we saw that the Bangladesh, there was a lot of protest, and at a point there was the cancellation of the visit of the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This was the heightened case of the protest against this law. Okay. We have also seen that the allegation of the many of the assassination at the international level and where the Indian government or the official of the Indian government were involved. We have seen this into the Canada, we have seen into the US, and yes, in that point the Pakistan is taking the benefit. Pakistan is telling that look, what we were telling that India do that, India do the assassination, India do such thing, and that's why you are not agreed. Now see that it is happening in your countries. Okay, so the allegation was that the separatists were assigned into the foreign countries, and here the neighborhood, this the most rival country to us, the Pakistan, now it is using all this to support its stand that yes, India were doing, India is doing, and India is also doing such type of thing into the Balochistan as well. So here we are losing our strong ground and our credibility that is here as this writer is mentioning. Here the writer is mentioning that very recently in this, even into the 10 days back, our defense minister Rajnath Singh said that there is the policy to kill the terrorists that go into the Pakistan. Means you enter into the Pakistan and you kill those terrorists. And as per they are the terrorists. As per them, they could be something else. So here, again, this is the contradict the India's dismissal of the Canadian allegation. When Canada was alleging that yes, you have killed, India said that we never go into the other countries, we never the violate of sovereignty of the other countries. Here, your defense minister itself, he is declaring into the public place that yes, we do that. in other countries, it is like the Patanjali, Baba Ramdev. You are in the court telling that, yes, I will not do. When you go out of the court, you will tell that the court was wrong. And we were doing a good thing. There is no wrong whatever we were doing. You start doing the advertisement on that was the misleading. The same thing is that when on the Canada, when that there is the discussion with the Canada, you say that we don't do that. And when into the public debate, when you are doing the rally, when you are doing the campaign, you are telling that yes, we do. This is the thing that you are denying your own stand, and here you are isolating itself, India, against even the countries that where we want to align, where we want to make alliance, such as the country, Canada, US, Australia. Okay. Again, the writer is mentioning that even the government, recently we saw that in the new parliament, they brought the picture of the Akhanda Bharat, and here they have shown the neighborhood countries as the part of it, like the Afghanistan, Myanmar, Tibet, and Pakistan, Nepal even. And in that case, Nepal asked the clarification on that, what is you mean by the Akhand Bharat? Do you not consider as a sovereign countries? Do you have any plan into the future of aggression? They put us on the same stand, on the same status as the China. We always criticize China as aggressor. Here you are telling that your territory expand to this area. This means that in the future you will be also aggression. And here this is the criticism. And if you do this thing on a regular basis, it's give a negative, a negative message to the neighborhood countries. And also, whatever the principle you say, whatever the policy you say, whatever the diplomacy you say, like the neighborhood first policy or any policy, if you will start doing such a thing, it will not like the walk the talk. It will be like the you say something, you do something. There is the dichotomy. There is the paradox between your statement and your actions. And that's why, as per the writer, this is not good for India, particularly with respect to the diplomacy or at the international stage, at the credibility of India, if India will do such thing. Next important news that we will go is the three prolonged race, and here it is talking about the race into the Telangana between Congress, BRS and BJP. So here previously it was two party only. It was the Congress and BRS, Bharatiya Rashtriya Samiti, Bharat Rashtra Samiti under the K. Chandrasekhar Rao. So here we have seen that due to the backlash and due to the continuous rule of BRS for the 10 years, there has been the some of the disenchantment against the BRS, and the people, they are either moving towards the Congress or the BJP. We have seen that the loss is for the BRS only. So here we have seen that in the recent elections, there has been the decrease into the BRS vote share, and same amount, near about the 40% decrease into the BRS vote share, and the Congress vote share that has increased into the Telangana. Same times we have seen that the lot of the main leader of the BRS, they have shifted, they have gone to the Congress. As well as we have seen that the recent rule under the Chief Minister Revant Reddy, there has been change into the perception of the people that yes, this government is for the inclusive growth, and those who are weak and the marginal, they are also heard and they have been considered. Same time we have seen that the increase into the BJP base and the share, there has been the increase from the 7 to 14% of the vote share between 2018 to 2023. So it shows that this election, there will be the three-pronged contest. One will be BJP, second will be BRS, third will be Congress. So here this is all about. The next news is again from the editorial, and already we have seen that the story, there was the result and the verdict from the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court under the curative petition, you should know the difference between curative petition and the review petition. Curative petition is for the gross injustice that has been done and to rectify such gross injustice. Review petition is normally, this is the review its own judgment due to the sum of the error. But the curative petition that comes under Article 142, while the review petition that comes under Article 137, you should know. Here the main difference is that Article 137, that is for the review petition. Please remember that, that is very important, that there is always confusion with the review petition. And what is the curative petition? It comes under 142, but it has not clearly mentioned under the 142. 142 is talking about that the Supreme Court can order for anything if it's think that there is need, it can do the complete justice by this order. And that's bring the curative petition under the Supreme Court original power. And here you should remember that it is the Rupa Ashok Hurra case, Rupa Ashok Hurra case 2002, that this curative petition was considered, was accepted, recognized by the Supreme Court that yes, Article 142 has the power to bring the, if there is any of the gross injustice that has been done, or any of the violation of the fundamental rights already have been done, or the natural justice has been violated, so Supreme Court can review its own and yes, bring the change in its previous judgment. And in such cases there will be the 3 judges bench, and already that will also include those judges that already have been into the previous judgment. So this is all about, you should know, we should know that what was the case. It was the DMRC that was imposed with the 7,687 crore of the penalty for the termination of its contract, but the latter it was found that the termination was not violative, it was as per its rules regulation, so that was legal, there was no violation, no penalty. So this is all about from this news article. Next news that we will cover is a battle to save the Ladakh and all of the humanity. Here it is talking about what is going into the Ladakh and how this is impacting overall ecosystem and the landscape into the Ladakh. What is the context under that this is into the news? Particularly there has been the announcement of the fast of the 31 days. This is known as the climate fast, and it is being declared by the Sonam Wangchuk. Sonam Wangchuk, already he was very famous personality. He is a climatic activist, and also he received the Raman Magsaysay Award in 2018. Besides that, he is famous for the movie in the 3 Idiots. It was considered that it was the Wangchuk on the basis of his method this particular movie was based. Okay, so it has given that what are the geography and what is the climatic condition, what is the population, what are the involvement in the Ladakh. Here it is given that the 97% of the people are the indigenous and they mostly dependent on the farming and the forest, also from the animal rearing. Okay, so here they have given. Besides that, we have seen that the Ladakh face so much climatic change issue, and yes, we have seen that the flood, drought, greenhouse gas issue. Okay, so here Himalayan region where Ladakh is located, this is place where near about the 1500 or 15,000 of the glacier that is located, and that's why it is known as the third pole. The first for Antarctica, and the second the Arctic, and third it is the Himalayan region, because here near about the 15,000 of the glacier. Can you imagine? And that's why it is known as, and these glaciers are the source of the lot of all the major rivers of the North India, be it Indus, be it Ganga, be it Brahmaputra. This is the Himalaya that provide the main source, and they are the glaciers. The thing is that, but however, we have seen that there has been the infrastructure boom, and this boom is beyond the carrying capacity of the Himalaya. So this is not able to this is to that level that Himalaya is not able to sustain. It is more than the is carrying capacity. Carrying capacity means you have the capacity to you can bear the weight of the 50 kilogram. But if someone puts 100 kilogram on you, you will not able to bear. You will be under the pressure of that particular weight. Okay, so that is known as the carrying capacity. So here we have seen that already there has been the National Action Plan on the climate change, and under that we have the 8 mission. These are the 8 mission that here we have provided. The mission on the solar national solar mission, national mission on the enhancement on the energy efficiency, national mission on the sustainable habitat. We have the national mission for the sustainable agriculture, national mission for the green India. Okay, national mission for the sustainable water management, and also we have the national mission on the sustaining the Himalayan ecosystem. This is the main thing that we are focusing. And the eighth is the national mission on the strategic knowledge for the climate change. So we have the national mission for the strategic knowledge for the climate change. We have the national mission for the sustainable water management. We have national mission for the green India. We have national mission for the sustainable agriculture. We have national mission for the this sustainable habitat, energy efficiency, and the solar mission. Okay, so here all this thing is to aiming to prevent and mitigate and adapt the climate change. But the thing is that do we are working, are we able to manage all this? The thing is that we are not able to implement all these things under the national mission. Okay, so we are failing on the national mission for the sustaining the Himalayan ecosystem. Okay, so why? Because the government itself bring the lot of construction projects such as the construction of the rail lines, construction of the tunnels, road, bridges. Okay, and the same government is purviewing all these projects under the national mission for sustaining Himalayan ecosystem. Okay, so here the same body that is going to review and that is going to implement the national mission for the sustaining Himalayan system is also doing the project. So why they will prevent their own project? Why they will give a review or anything against their own project? Because the main, it is the economic activity that has been the focus point. We have recently seen that the Jojila Tunnel, Kargil Jaskar National Highway, and a massive solar energy project into the Changthang region. So here these are the regions. You can see the Changthang region here. The hundreds, thousands of the acre of the land has been given for the solar power project. Here this is the connecting the Jaskar and Kistawar, and also we have seen that there has been a lot of such project from this Manali to the Srinagar. Here we will see that lot of passes that are here. You should remember that the major pass like the Baralachala. Okay, so here it is the at the point of the 16,500 feet. So this is the very so the height. Okay, here even it is the Thangla Chala, that is the 17,400 feet. So these are the continuous. These are the continuously shown the different passage into the path of this highways and these bridges, tunnels that all have been seen. We have recently saw even the into the Josimath in the Uttarakhand. There has been the landslide and there was the submergence. Okay, so all these things that we have seen, and in all this project, which organization those who have involved? The first is the BRO. BRO is known for the speedy project completion. They are the part of the paramilitary. You should remember that this is the under the Ministry of Defense. Never confuse that the border road organization. This is part of the Ministry of Road and Transport and Highways. Please don't think that it is under the Ministry of Defense, because they work into the area where there is the we have the land border area. Mostly in that area they work, and they were it was constituted after the Chinese War, India-China War 1962. Then we felt that yes, there is need for the some of the organization that can develop this project into the border area, sensitive area in a speedy manner, because at that particular time we saw that we failed to respond the Chinese attack because we were lacking the infrastructure. Okay. So here we will see that these two organizations, they are the main on the line for the development of this. Further, this article is mentioning that the recent disaster. Already we know that the major disaster that happened into the Kedarnath, and here there was the cloud burst and there was the flash flood. What is the flash flood? There is the large amount of the water due to the rainfall or the precipitation, and there is, if there is a congestion into the drainage system, there could be the flood situation. Okay, mostly it is into the hilly area or on the slopey area. Okay, we have also seen such landslide and the subsidence of the land into the Josimath. Okay. Also, we have seen that recently, last year, 6 months back, there was the few of near about the 41 workers, they were trapped into the tunnel that collapsed. So we saw that what are the vulnerability into the different region. Okay. We already have seen that in the Uttarakhand we have seen lot of tragedies. Still we are continuously going with the different infrastructure project without going for the suggestion or that recommendation from the expert committee. Even the Supreme Court has made its own expert committee to review all the thing, but the thing is that their recommendation is not being implemented. For example, take the example of this Baba Ramdev and Patanjali case. Despite the Supreme Court were telling that please don't make such misleading statement, please don't lie to the people. Again, that person, like the Baba Ramdev, he was entering into the court saying that I will not tell, and when he was going out of the court again, he was reiterating the same thing. He was telling that yes, court was wrong, I am right. This is the situation with this committees and the government as well. Government is not hearing this Supreme Court appointed expert committee. There was lot of recommendation. For example, they have recommended for avoiding hydroelectric project into the paraglacial zone to prevent any environmental damage. But we have seen that again and again government is going for the implementation of the such projects. Okay. The review, that is frustrating. The review is taken by the expert committee, but they are not taken by the government, and that's why even the climate change activists, they have frustrated, they go to the judiciary give the order. Into the rare case, in the sum of the cases when judiciary become angry, in that case only there is the sum of the implementation. Okay, so here into the concluding point, the writer is telling that the development should not come at the expense of the upsetting the fragile balance into the Himalayan ecosystem and the biodiversity. So there should be the balanced development, economy and the protection of environment. There should be they are the two main supporting point that should be we should careful of the both of the area. We should not take care of the one and we should ignore or avoid other. If you are talking about the environment, without the sustainability, this economic growth, this economic development will not go for the long term, and it will be not sustainable. So you have to bring those development, those economic activities that is also sensitive and that is also careful of the environment as well. So let's see one of the question that we are going to practice. Already UPSC has asked such question. For example, in 2070, UPSC asked that climate change is a global problem. How India will affected by the climate change? How Himalayan and coastal state of India will be affected by the climate change? Again, it is talking about the climate change and the global problem, and it is interlinking it with the Himalaya and the coastal states. So here you can talk about what is the issue of the Himalaya, such as the infrastructure, such as the flood, cloud burst, and such thing. Okay, you can same time you can talk about the coastal state, what they are suffering. Kerala, For example, there has been the there is the sand mining that is creating the issue. There is the coastal sensitive coastal zone that is not followed the rule and regulation by the many of the project. So you can talk both of the area there. They have the some of the issue that had the similar in nature, some of the issue that is unique in nature. You have to bring all these things. UPSC again asked the question in 2019. The question is that define the concept of the carrying capacity. Okay, very straightforward question. And of an ecosystem as relevant to the environment. Explain how understanding this concept is vital while planning the sustainable development of a region. So here you have to start your answer with defining what is the carrying capacity. Okay, and then you should bring its connection with the environment, and also you should bring that how, without thinking or without considering this carrying capacity, your development, your planning will not be sustainable. So you should link the carrying capacity and the sustainable development with each other, and you can conclude with the reiterating the crucial link between the carrying capacity and the sustainable development. All this is given here. You can please write the answer and you can evaluate your answer. There is the one way of the answer you can bring. There is the second way of the answer. Here you can bring the factor influencing carrying capacity. After that you can bring the importance of sustainable development, and in the last you can conclude. So this could be there could be the two type of the answer you can write. Next important news that we are going to take is the ISRO Zero Orbital Debris milestone. So what is this? This is mainly about the how we are going to control the space debris. So you should know that what is this space debris, and our ISRO mission that has launched under the PSLV C58, that is also known as the ExpoSat mission. We are going to use and reuse the last part of this rocket, this launch vehicle, and the last part of this will be used, and it will be like the orbital station, and it will have the guidance, it will have the navigation guidance and the control system that will bring back this, and this will reduce the space debris. So what is the space debris? The question comes in your mind, what is this? Why we are doing all this thing? The space debris, if you will see that this is the Earth, and around that there is the thousand of the satellite revolving around that. Near about every year there is at least 250 satellites that is being launched. Most of the countries, most of the developed countries, even a developing country like the India, they are launching the satellite in a large number, and that's why there is the increased number of these satellite, and that's why there is chances that they can collide with each other, and there is the accidental, okay, and that is known as the Kessler effect, that if there will be the one collision, there will be the multiple collision. In the road you must have seen, if there is the accident between there is a collision between the two vehicles, there is the multiple vehicle also collide with these vehicles. So that's why if there will be the one satellite colliding with the other satellite, there will be the lot of other satellites. So what is this space debris? So the space debris is could be the any part, such as the part of rocket, or the part of the satellite, or the defunct satellite, or the any of the fragments of the objects that have deteriorated. Okay. Even we have seen that recently there is the experiment such as the anti-satellite missiles going, and they are attacking the satellite, and they are destroying this satellite in the multiple parts, and that's why there is the increased number of this space debris. Okay, it is like what is again, if I will explain here into the more think that there is the road, this is the road, and here there is the entry of the number of the vehicles. They are entering every year, and they are never going back. They are always running, and they are always remain here. They are moving here into the perpetual time. Every year there is the increase in the 1,000, 2,000 number of the vehicle. What will happen? There will be a chance where there will be the no space for the other vehicle to enter, and at the same time there will be the increased number of the chances of the accident between the collision between the two vehicles. The same is with the satellite. If there is the Earth and the satellites revolving here, if the number increases, there is chances that there will be the collision. And there is the different orbit. In this different orbit, this low Earth orbit, that is between 100 kilometer to 200 kilometer. This is the range of the low Earth orbit. In this low Earth orbit, there is a lot of number of the satellite, and there is a lot of chances that they will collide. And mostly these satellites are used for the different purpose that are very useful. Okay, and they are being used for the purpose such as the reconnaissance, surveillance. Okay, also for the they are used for the resource management. So a lot of use of this low Earth orbits is due to that there are the entry of the countries launching lot of the orbit and satellite into these orbits. Okay. So what is the definition? The definition, as per the definition, what should be the size of this these elements to called as the space debris? In the low Earth orbit, if the size is more than or the equal to the 10 centimeter or more, then it will be considered as a space debris. And if it is into the geosynchronous orbit or the high altitude orbit, in that case it should be the 30 centimeter to 1 meter. So this should be the size. Now, as per the report, there is around 7,000 operational satellite orbiting into the different Earth altitude. It could be the low Earth altitude, and it could be the high altitude. Okay, so world places 2,533 objects into space into the 179 launch into the 2022. This is the case, and by that we are expecting that by the 2030 we have the 60,000 of the satellites and such thing into the low Earth orbit. These are known as the space objects. Okay. So by that case, we see that such type of the experiment that is bringing back this type of the last phase of the rocket, and reusing is very helpful into the reducing this space debris. This is all about from this news. You should know that what is meant by the space debris, what is meant by the Kessler syndrome, because the Kessler syndrome talk about whenever there will be the collision between the two of the satellite, there will be the cascading effect, and the other satellite will also collide, same like the whenever there is the accident between the two of the car or the two of the bike, there is the collision with the other bike or the other cars as well, there will be the Kessler syndrome. This is all about from this news article. Now let's solve few of the prelims question from the topic we have covered. The first question, please take it. The nickname third pole is often used for the Himalayan region due to the presence of third highest mountain in the world. Its location at the northernmost point of the Indian subcontinent. See, its vast reserves of the fresh water in the form of glacier. The unique biodiversity found in its high altitude ecosystem. Here it is due to the vast reservoirs and reserves of the fresh water into the glacier, and we seen that this glacier or the source of the lot of rivers into the South Asia, for example into the Ganga, that is into the India, and Bangladesh for the Indus, this is for the India and Pakistan, Brahmaputra, China, India and Bangladesh, all are the example of this. Okay. Question number 2. Which of the following terms is associated with the large store of the ice and snow found in the Himalayan region? Cryosphere, lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere. So it is the cryosphere, because the cryosphere that include the glaciers, the snow sheets, and those ice sheet, all that include into the cryosphere. Even the permafrost, that are the first part of the cryosphere. Question number 3. Which of the following is the most common cause of the flash flood? Prolonged period of the light rainfall, sudden failure of the dam or the levee, intense rainfall into the short period, rapid snow melt into the mountainous region. So here you will find that prolonged period of the light rainfall. Maybe this could be or this could not be. There is less chances, but yes, this could be the possible. This could be the possible region, and this could also be possible region. But this is asking that the most common cause here. If you will go for the most common cause, it is the intense rainfall into the short period, and that's why this question became a difficult, because you have the two other similar type of the statement that could be there is the possibility that they could be correct, but this is not correct because most probable chances for this. Under the UN clause, the right of innocent passage applies to which of the following? Commercial fishing vessel into the EEZ, submarines navigation into the contiguous zone, ships of all states within a nation's territorial sea, research vessel surveying the continental shelf. Here it is the ship of the all states within the nation's territorial sea. We saw that what is the territorial sea? It is for the 12 nautical miles from the baseline. After that there is the contiguous zone, and after that exclusive economic zone. So please remember all these things. Last question, which of the following maritime zone extend up to 12 nautical miles from the nation baseline? Exclusive economic zone, contiguous zone, territorial sea and high sea. Again, it is the territorial sea. Already I have explained, I have mentioned it. So this is all about from the today's news. We will conclude our session here. Thank you for joining the session. All the best. Jai Hind.